Hi, and welcome to The Lamp in the Library. I'm Graham.
I'm Kim. And today we are going to be sharing our reading adventure while we're on a little piece of land on an island in Ontario.
Enjoy.
So I now have it back put into a bed, and now we can read a little bit before we go to sleep. And I have we got these wonderful headlamps for Christmas 2 years ago, and it's really great because if you have to go outside you have something, and then also for reading when you put the light out, and the light itself runs off of the solar panels that we have outside.
Woo! Nicely done.
Graham and I are on a ferry right now, waiting to go back to the mainland because we were just on the island and spent the night. It was kind of cool. And while we wait on the ferry, we like to bring our books out and read. So let's check in on what Graham's reading. So Graham, what are you reading right now?
I'm reading this book by C.B. Wedgwood. It's called The 30 Years' War. And this book is about the 30 Years' War, and it answers some fundamental questions about that war. For example, how long? How many years did it last? It's really good.
And why did you pick it up?
I think in a year that has been marked by a pandemic, it puts things in perspective to read a book about relentless destruction. So I find it strangely therapeutic.
I actually got that book a few years ago and started to read it, but I found it really dense, and I was reading something else at the same time, so I had to put it down because I realized to read it you really have to, focus in on it because there's so much information.
Yeah, I really didn't know anything about the time period covered here besides that it was this incredibly complicated and convoluted event. And this book is kind of bearing that out. It is very dense. There's a lot to take in, but once you're into the flow of it, it's kind of fascinating.
So you're finding it a good read?
Yeah, I'm strangely absorbed into it.
Do you think it's good for reading on an island when you're all alone and the wind is blowing and it's cold?
Yeah, I suppose so if you're in the right mood. It's not a light read, if that's what you're asking. So Kim, what are you reading?
I brought this, the little book of the language of flowers, and I brought it because it's the spring equinox today, so I wanted to really celebrate the coming of the season and thinking about some of the plants that will be growing on the island this year. And the book itself is really beautiful. It has these vintage illustrations of the flowers that it talks about, and then shares a little bit about the myths that surround the flowers and some of the Victorian ideas that were around the flowers if you gave them. So just a lot of different ideas of the meanings of flowers, and I just thought it was really beautiful. That's why I picked it up, but I'm really enjoying it, and it gets me in the spring mood. And to cheers the spring equinox, I have a little bit of this spiced mead that I'm gonna have, and we're having a nice little warm lasagna, which helps us warm up the shepherd's hut while it's cooking. So just a little update on what happened when we arrived at the island. It was night, but we discovered that the top of the yurt that we stay in had blown away.
Yeah, there was a windstorm about a week or 2 weeks ago, really strong winds, and so it did happen quite recently, so there wasn't any water damage or snow inside the yurt itself. It was actually quite dry, relatively speaking. So we were actually lucky that we came down this weekend to discover this.
Super lucky, yeah.
So we rigged something up because the top had actually broken. The wind was so strong that the ropes just snapped. So we did the best we could. We rigged something up. We even tried to put a tarp up, but realized that the tarp would just become a sail in the wind, and so we took that down. But we're getting a new top for the yurt in the next, hopefully, week or so, so we'll be back down to fix it for good.
Yeah, and then maybe we can show a little more of the space and what it's like and what we're doing there.
Yeah.
But this time it was mostly fixing the top, working on that, and some reading.
And we're still reading now.
Yep. And I thought maybe I'd just give you a quick look at the other side that's across from the bed/eat area in the little shepherd's hut. There's a little kitchen space. It's a little stove and oven. They run off propane. And we use water from the lake usually to wash dishes that we boil first, but now that it's frozen over, we bring water with us, and then we just wash in that basin and empty it outside. This is the little Dutch door. It opens up to a little view. So in the end with this weekend, we didn't get too much reading in, but a little bit. We had to mostly deal with fixing the little broken top of the yurt, which we have fixed for now, but we're going to be back really soon because we ordered another top to just fully replace it, but hopefully this holds for now. And yeah, so it was sort of a short reading vlog, not as much reading as maybe we planned, but that's okay because part of the whole point of coming down is for the adventure. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe below, and hit the bell so you always know when there's a new video. Thanks so much for watching. Keep well and keep reading.